Let's talk about how to declutter our closets without the intense feelings of shame that can come with it. Hi, I'm Sampi. I'm a fitness and nutrition coach, and recently I've gained some weight. The past 9 months I was injured and bedbound, and with that came weight gain. I can admit that it was incredibly hard for me at first to mentally cope with any sort of weight gain. But with a lot of self-reflection into my values, my belief system, and a hard look at who I want to be as a fitness professional and the type of values I want to promote to my own clients, I've really come out on the other side of this weight gain a lot stronger mentally. I'm more confident and overall just happier. And now that I've come to terms with the additional weight gain, I'm ready to declutter my closet and make space for clothes that do fit and clothes that make me feel good about myself. I'm recording this video today to help anyone else that may have gained weight or is in the middle of a body transformation, or anyone who may just need a closet reset. We'll talk about how to declutter your closet, how to let go of pieces without shame, how to handle negative feelings when clothes don't fit, tips for what to wear when our bodies are in between sizes and changing, and we'll of course have a super satisfying reveal of my closet. The first step to decluttering is often overlooked. You need to develop an exit plan for when you're done decluttering. Ask yourself, what do you plan on doing with all these clothes when you're done, and commit to that plan. Write it down on a piece of paper or on a note on your phone. If not, these clothes could wind up sitting in a garbage bag or a box taking up space in your house or your garage or your car. For me, my exit plan is to sell trendy items on Depop, higher end items on Marketplace and ThredUp. The rest of the items I'm taking to Plato's Closet, and then the ones that they don't accept, I bring to a charity shop. A lot of decluttering methods will have you take everything out of your closet at once, and I personally find this overwhelming. Instead, I like to do this process in pieces. I keep piles or boxes dedicated to give away, sell, donate, or toss for items that are beyond repair. After setting up these boxes, I like to take a picture of my closet, and then I do an initial sweep of all my clothes. After a first look at my closet, it's pretty easy to pull some stuff that I know I don't want anymore. I'll usually ask myself these questions. When was the last time I wore this? Have I ever worn this? I'll admit some pieces in my closet I've never even taken the price tag off of. Some of my clothes are from college, and I don't dress like I'm in college. And I'm not dressing like I'm going to college parties anymore either. Does this fit my personal style today? We as people change over time, and our fashion reflects that. It's okay to have change in taste. It's normal. There was a time in my life for years where I dressed really cutesy and kawaii. It was a lot of Japanese fashion and a lot of pinks and purples. I cannot imagine myself wearing most of these pieces today. Now I tend to dress like a gym rat or an extra on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, or like I'm headed to a wrestling show. I feel much more like myself in these clothes, and if I were to wear those crazy pinks and pops of color, I would not feel like myself. Does this fit my lifestyle? I had a ton of clothes specifically for anime conventions. I go to them maybe once a year now. I don't need so much of that now. I also had a lot of suits and business attire. I now work from home and have in-person meetings a few times a year. I only need a few business pieces. Looking at my life, most of my time is spent at home and at the gym. In my free time, I do things like go to thrift stores or bookstores and wrestling shows. It's okay if most of my clothes are casual because that's how I spend most of my time. After asking myself those 4 questions, when was the last time I wore this? Have I ever worn this? Does this fit my personal style today? Does this fit my lifestyle? I'm usually able to knock out a fair amount of clothes from my closet. I'll then take some time to step away from the closet so I can come back with fresh eyes. Unfortunately, in between my first sweep of my closet and the second sweep of my closet, I had guests in town and my closet exploded. I don't recommend that. Now that we've knocked out a fair amount of our closet and are coming back with fresh eyes, we can do our second round of decluttering. At this point, I take all my clothes out of the closet. I then like to put all of my clothes into piles based on type. All sports bras, all leggings, all shorts, all of them in piles together. And then I try on each item one by one, and I ask myself these questions. Does this fit me? Do I feel good in this? If I were to spill wine on this item, how hard would I work to save it? At this point, I may be tempted to hold on to pieces that no longer serve me. But what if it comes back in style? Ask yourself if you truly like this piece of clothing regardless of the trend. But I spent so much money. Even if you spent all that money, if you're not wearing it, it's not getting use and it's just taking up space. Usually when I have an item I spent a lot of money on that gets no use, I'll feel really bad about the purchase. Every time I look at it, I just kind of feel bad and icky. Really, it's just better to get rid of it. Try to sell it, give it to a friend. You just need to lose weight. The clothes in your closet should serve you now. Filling it up with clothes that don't fit is just taking up space and reminding you that you no longer fit those pieces. Sometimes I'll hear people saying that these smaller pieces are motivation, but I think more often than not, it tends to be demoralizing. Dress for the size you are now. Having a ton of clothes you can't wear sucks. Don't torture yourself. Wearing ill-fitting stuff doesn't feel good and it won't make you feel great about yourself. For pieces that no longer fit and that I really love, I'll pack these away and in 6 months I'll try them again. This way I can hold on to them, but they're out of sight and out of mind for now. I've always had a weird relationship with clothing. I love fashion and I always felt bad wearing most clothes. Shopping used to make me emotional because no matter what size I was and no matter how much weight I lost, clothes never fit right. Buying jeans has always been a really difficult experience and it continues to be difficult. When this happens, I try to remember that clothes should fit me, not I should fit clothes. Clothes were meant to fit our bodies and not the other way around. I would sometimes have this initial gut feeling when I went from one size to another, but then I remember that clothing sizes are literally made up. They are not consistent among each other and sometimes even within their own brand. Clothing used to be made by draping fabric on the bottom. It was custom made for you. It wasn't until the late 19th century that clothing became mass manufactured. And with mass manufacturing came a very flawed attempt at a standardized size that simply can't account for every body type. Remind yourself that you should not derive your value from a size or a label. Those labels and sizes are literally made up. Recognize that your size does not determine your value as a person. As someone whose livelihood has literally been based on their looks, this has been something I struggled with for years. When I find myself in these negative thought loops, I think about people I care for and why I care for them and why I love them. I have friends that are selfless, kind, inspiring, and I know that when they're thinking of why they care for me, they're not saying it's because I have a six-pack or I'm a size 4. Who we are as people is not determined by our size. These thoughts aren't always easy. A lot of us grew up with the media constantly bombarding us with how we should look. Really, the only way to get better at this self-talk is with time, with patience, and with practice. I find journaling helps. It's okay if these feelings pop up. You're not failing feminism. If you'd like me to do a more in-depth video on body neutrality and body acceptance, comment below because this is a topic that I really care about. So what if your body is changing? Right now I'm in the middle of bulking. I will inevitably gain even more weight and in the next 6 months I might decide to enter a deficit and then I will lose weight. So how do I dress for this and what clothes do I buy? First, I get clothes that are spandex, elastic or stretchy material. Most of my leggings are a size small and still fit me even though I'm bigger now. I find a lot of clothes with elastic waistbands. I'll also buy clothing that is shirred. When clothing is drawn by elastic to make these gathers, it can adapt to weight gain or weight loss really well. Next, I find clothes that I can belt. This means that if I lose weight or gain weight, I can easily belt it to adapt. Similar vein, I try to buy clothes that I can tie to adapt, like wrap skirts and dresses, so that they'll fit me at a variety of sizes. Now that I've gotten rid of a bunch of clothing that is not serving me, I now have a closet full of clothing that I love and that fits. It is way easier for me to get dressed now because I don't have to question whether something fits or not. Because I have less clothes in my closet, I was able to get really extra on the organization. I have dividers for all of my bags and dividers to organize my shirts. I have a section for gym shirts, wrestling shirts, and South Park shirts. I use this little nifty folding board so that all of my shirts fit perfectly into space, and I bought these metal racks that are meant to save space in closets, but I use them to evenly space my clothing. It makes my clothes look gorgeous and I can see everything. I have my gym clothes and hoodies at the front of my wardrobe because I wear those the most, and then I have the rest of my clothes in the back. And I even keep my gym clothes in rainbow order because it makes me happy. This was a big process. In a lot of ways, it was an emotional one, but on the other side of it, I now love getting ready in the morning, and I no longer go into my closet with this feeling of overwhelm, and I no longer have these regret pieces, and I'm no longer comparing myself to myself at a different time and size of my life. I hope this video was helpful for anyone who has struggled with their relationship with clothing. I'm a fitness and nutrition coach, and I truly believe that health and wellness is a lifelong journey. I think that the best way to build a positive relationship with yourself doesn't include negative self-talk or self-punishment. Taking care of yourself is an act of self-love. Wearing clothes that make you feel good is an act of self-love. Subscribe to my channel for health and wellness tips that are meant to aid you for life, and not just to help you gain a size in a month, just so that you can gain it all back again. Thanks, guys.